Good day and welcome to the African Center for Community and Development. In today's program, I shall be talking about our Green Cradle initiative. I am Arrey Ivo. I am the founder and the director of the African Center for Community and Development. The African Center for Community and Development engages in capacity building, agroforestry, conservation. It also focuses on the empowerment of women as well as on marginalities and vulnerabilities in our society, which is Cameroon, Africa, and the world. It enjoys a special consultative status at the United Nations Economic and Social Council, and it is a non-governmental organization and a non-profit organization. The Green Cradle initiative aims at conserving biodiversity while growing food. You may ask why. There are so many reasons why. We need to conserve biodiversity and to grow food in Africa and in Cameroon. 35,000 elephants are killed every year. Most of them in Central Africa are being killed for their meat. If people had meat or alternatives to wildlife, they wouldn't kill these elephants. They wouldn't kill the raptors, the giant birds, the rhinos, the lions. So, we at the African Center for Community and Development have identified these issues as very pertinent to Africa. And we have thought about the fact that we can conserve biodiversity, conserve tropical biodiversity in our small Green Cradle project as a way of showing to society and the region that the forest matters and that we can leave the forest as it is and use a bit of it to grow food like vegetables and fruits that can serve communal needs, as well as to grow alternatives to wildlife like sheep, like quails, like guinea fowls, like ducks, like goats, like snails. But we cannot do this without your support. We need your support to be able to establish an eco-friendly way of growing the alternatives to wildlife. That is, growing them in a park or sanctuary that can attract tourists, eco-lovers, bird watchers, researchers in tropical biodiversity to come and see what we are doing, and then to produce eggs and these alternatives to meet the protein needs of the greater society in order to dissuade dependence on threatened and endangered species, including elephants, apes, primates, gorillas, drills, monkeys. Recently, there was a study that was conducted for 13 years in neighboring Equatorial Guinea, and it revealed that as societies became more economically viable, so too poaching for meat or the Bushmeat Trade expands. So we are now caught up in a situation where we have an Africa that is expanding, an Africa that is having over 1 billion people that needs food, an Africa that has a youthful population that is in need of jobs. So we need to create the food mechanisms to feed these people and those devices to provide jobs for these ever expanding populations in Africa. Our little way of doing this is via our Green Cradle Project, which we grow food, conserve biodiversity, and are hoping to establish a vocational training center to teach various subpopulations, the farmers, the hunters, civil society organizations, women groups, and the greater public in Cameroon and the region on those practices that can help our environment, such as permaculture, climate change, climate smart agriculture, agroforestry, pig farming, goat rearing, sheep rearing, snail farming, the rearing of exotic species for parks, freshwater fisheries, climate smart technologies or adaptable green technologies, project planning and management for small and medium-sized enterprises. All these things that are necessary in a holistic way to empower those societies that are most likely to eat wildlife as food, who are compelled by poverty to carry out unsustainable farming methods like slash and burn, or the planting of monocrops like palms that destroy the environment. So if you understand the vision of the Green Cradle Project, the vision of the African Center for Community and Development, the vision that we have been trying to showcase to the world in our over 600 videos that we have produced and published, then we invite you to support our initiative to conserve biodiversity while growing food. Our initiative to cut the dependence on threatened and endangered biodiversity or wildlife in particular, by supporting our mechanisms for growing alternatives. If you support us, then we shall use our land that we have in a more holistic, integrated, and inclusive manner. We shall use the land to grow alternatives like fish, like ducks, like goats, like geese, like quails, like guinea fowls, and we shall allow the natural biodiversity roaming about so that posterity will be able to see what works in a modern Africa, and that accounts for the needs of the future generations. Thank you very much for tuning in to the African Center for Community and Development. Please follow the link below this video to support the African Center for Community and Development in its stride to produce food, to conserve biodiversity, and to grow alternatives against endangered and threatened wildlife species in Cameroon, and which by extrapolation it is going to impact in the whole of the Congo Basin, Africa, and the greater world. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much.
And you just listen to a young girl who was saying that the Nigerian community here is totally very angry.
Thank you very much for
Our president was the Ivo country of the Niger Delta of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He went to several schools to make your academic genesis was at Government College to Delhi. And
go gather, destroy their food. With the camp and that other camp, no compensate everybody.
generation sometimes. Today our focus will be on the style of the flag, a poet and writer, and we shall also be very interested in his point Akmo dancing.
Some lines are meaningful, some are empty. There are lives that are with too much meaning and riches to offer humankind. You know, After some of these earthly adventures and more, one can still find footprints of these bird lives on the pavements of our contemporary life.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program Green Planet.